Good afternoon, North Square followers. Here we are at the beautiful sons of Norway in Bothell. And this gentleman right here, his name is Eric Stavney. And Eric is the producer of Tales and Tunes Nordic on Tap, which is a podcast about Nordic folktale and also Nordic culture. Eric is going to explain to us about the Norwegian or Scandinavian or Nordic, I will say, calendar, which dates to 1649. But he will also explain what the calendar was all about prior to that date. Go ahead, Eric.
Okay, thank you. Yes, before obviously we had paper or any kind of way to keep track of the year, people had one of these, a calendar stick. In Norway, it's referred to as a primstav or primary stick. Essentially, this is the thing that drives everything. It records all the days and special days. Um, Before Christianity, the symbols had something to do with referencing to agricultural life, time to plant, time to harvest, time when things should be brought in. When the Catholicism came to Scandinavia, they markings were added to it related to saints, usually saints or popes or well-known people. And it was important to have this because if you didn't venerate the right saint on the right day, you could get in trouble with the church. So after that went away in the Reformation, then these symbols sort of went back to those agricultural roots. Although, for example, there might be a circle, and that used to be, I'm making it up, St. Andrew's Day, because he fell in the water with a millstone around his neck. The circle refers to that. Now, what do you do with that day? Well, you could say, oh, that circle has to do with grinding grain on a millstone. So we're going to call this the day when you harvest the wheat, or you bring in the grain and you make beer or something of that nature. So the Primstav has two sides. One is the winter side, one is the summer side. And it's not quite, right down the winter like it's not according to the calendar that we would refer to, but the mitten is the start of the quote winter side. It's actually late fall. And as we move forward here, there's Christmas. That's sometimes thought to be a drinking horn, which is when represents the feasting. This guy right here is December 13th, and that is known as St. Lucy's Day or Sancta Lucia Day, and also the winter solstice, the longest night of the year. So, for example, I just flip over the other side just to note, here's the summer solstice, where you have a bonfire in Scandinavia usually. Midsummer, Sankt Hans's often, St. Hans's evening. So anyway, it's kind of a nice curiosity. This is what we had before we had paper calendars, and it worked for them. Probably up to, this one's dated 1649, this replica. That's about when they started to go out of fashion. That's when vellum was available, printing was available, and so now we have other calendars. But I think these are neat.
Thank you so much, Eric. And for our wonderful listeners, if you get a chance, please listen to his podcast and learn a lot more about the wonderful Scandinavian culture. Thank you so much, and you have a great afternoon. Bye bye.